Hello, everyone. Welcome to Inconvenient Truths. I'm your host, Jennifer Zheng. Recently, there have been continuous news and events within the CCP related to military affairs, Taiwan invasion plans, and high-level security. The sudden and mysterious death of Feng Yanghe, known as the foremost expert in AI military strategy and once involved in simulating the armed unification of Taiwan scenario through military strategy, raised questions about whether the CCP is intensifying its plans to invade Taiwan. Moreover, other people within the ranks of the CCP military risking their lives to stop Xi Jinping's ambitions. Today, we will dive into this news that has not yet received significant attention from the Western world. Feng Yanghe. On July 1st, the sensitive and influenced figure in the CCP's AI military science, the esteemed expert in national defense technology Feng Yanghe, passed away suddenly at the age of only 38. However, the news about his sudden death was only announced 10 days later. On July 11th, the Chinese Association for Artificial Intelligence released an obituary on their official WeChat account, stating Comrade Feng Yanghe, an outstanding member of the Chinese Communist Party, an exceptional young scientific and educational worker in our military, a recipient of the National Defense Science and Technology Outstanding Youth Science Foundation Project, leader of a certain major engineering expert group, chief scientist of a certain key project, associate professor and doctoral supervisor in the System Engineering Institute of the National Defense University, unfortunately sacrificed his life at 2:35 a.m. on July 1st, 2023 in Beijing while executing a significant mission. He was 38 years old at the time of his passing. This news immediately sparked great attention and speculation on Chinese social media platforms. Firstly, what is this major engineering expert group and key project he was leading? Secondly, what vital mission was he executing that led to his ultimate death in Beijing at 2:35 a.m.? They used the Chinese term "xi sheng" to describe his death. This term can roughly be translated into sacrifice and is usually reserved for those who sacrificed their lives in the context of a war or national duty. However, an official report by the party media stated that he passed away tragically due to a car accident. If his death was a result of a car accident, then the obituary should have used the term passed away or died in line of duty. Why did they use sacrifice? This may be related to the special nature of his mission. It is known that Feng Yanghe's research focused on AI applications for the CCP's armed unification of Taiwan, including reinforcement learning, intelligent gaming, intelligent planning, and military chess simulation techniques. Additionally, Feng Yanghe played a significant role in the CCP's military strategy regarding the unification of Taiwan and had some sort of practical role in this regard. Considering this, the vital mission he was executing might be closely linked to the armed attack on Taiwan, and this explains why his death is referred to as a sacrifice. On July 15th, Feng Yanghe's funeral service was held at the Babaoshan Funeral Home in Beijing. This raises further speculation, as according to CCP regulations, only senior officials at the level of deputy minister and above are entitled to have the funeral service at the Babaoshan Funeral Home. Take a look at this image. It is not a picture from Feng Yanghe's funeral service, but the funeral service of He Nuli, a chairperson of the CCP's Standing Committee of the National People's Congress in March 2022. Xi Jinping personally attended the funeral to mourn her. The purpose of showing this image is to illustrate that only senior leaders can receive the privilege of having the funeral service at the Babaoshan Funeral Home. Feng Yanghe only held the rank of military colonel and was merely an associate professor at the National Defense University. So why was he granted such an extraordinary funeral service at Babaoshan? What makes him so special? And these images were taken from mainland media reports featuring Feng Yanghe participating in various events. The mainland media refers to Feng Yanghe as a genius scientist, well versed in AI and national defense technology, a leading figure in military AI applications. His death dealt a severe blow to the CCP's command and control system. Feng Yanghe's resume also shows that he was jointly trained at the Department of Statistics at Harvard University and the High Performance Computing Laboratory at the University of Iowa, where he served as an assistant researcher. It is not entirely clear how much of his AI expertise was acquired during his time in the United States. Chinese media reports claim that the war brain system developed by Feng Yanghe is the most powerful brain for assisting decision-making in constructing military chess simulations. It is also the People's Liberation Army's most advanced mainstream military chess simulation system. The Warbrain 2 AI assistant for operational decision-making can directly issue commands to fighter jets, naval vessels, and other units, enabling them to launch attacks under the system of command. It can flexibly execute orders based on changes in the battlefield situation. Feng Yanghe is also known as the #1 expert in PLS military chess simulations. Military chess simulations aim to conduct intelligent simulations and predictions of warfare in advance, making them an upgraded version of ancient sand tables. According to China Military Network's report in 2019, during the third National Military Chess Simulation Competition's Man-Machine Challenge, the Warbrain system led by Feng Yanghe as the chief designer won the championship with an undefeated record. This is a photo of the award winners with Feng Yanghe standing in the middle holding a certificate. Chinese media also reported that during the 2020 military chess simulation competition, Feng Yanghe's team developed Warbrain 2, which employed a joint regional air defense strategy using a defense firepower network composed of destroyers and naval aircraft. They launched a powerful counterattack against the enemy aerial fighters, eventually turning a disadvantage into victory with a one-plane advantage. According to Feng Yanghe, this year's AI system achieved 3 modules: joint air defense, sea attack, and aerial combat. Through the organization between modules, the AI system can face different enemies and adopt different tactics to adapt to a challenging situations. This year's AI system no longer issues action-level instructions to entities such as airplanes and ships, specifying their specific directions of movement. Instead, it relies on intelligence models with autonomous decision-making capabilities to guide entities in completing task-level instructions, such as parole, reconnaissance, and firing. In other words, the CCP's intelligence control system has already possessed a certain level of autonomous decision-making capability, which means that entities can make autonomous decisions and actions based on the battlefield situation, thereby improving operational efficiency and the flexibility of tactics. Experts believe that the application of artificial intelligence technology in military command and control systems mainly involves several aspects. One, strategic warning. AI technology provides strategic level command centers with the ability to predict and alert significant events. Two, assisting combat decisions. By analyzing and possessing a large amount of intelligence, intelligent optimization is used to determine targets and evaluate plans, providing support for military command and control decisions. Three, achieving integrated combat command. This involves integrating land, sea, air, and space forces into one information environment where detected target data can be inputted into the system in real time. Commanders can then choose the optimal attack method based on the target type. Four, resource allocation and task management. In conflict, AI can handle and analyze information automatically, reminding commanders to make better decisions. Obviously, Feng Yanghe's main research direction focused on the second and the third aspects. In other words, his research aimed to make various combat weapons more intelligent, allowing fighter jets, bombers, warships, etc. to achieve remote intelligent attacks against the enemy through artificial input of combat commands, thereby achieving zero casualties on the battlefield. If a war breaks out in the Taiwan Strait, leading to a direct military confrontation before China and the United States, what role will Feng Yanghe's researched intelligent command system play? According to experts, the intelligence of command and control places extremely high commands on practitioners, requiring relevant technical personnel to be proficient in computer science and possess a deep understanding of military knowledge. Feng Yanghe was undoubtedly one of the top talents in this field within the CCP's military. His death undoubtedly delayed the improvement of the CCP's technology in this area and naturally dealt a blow to the senior leadership of Beijing. So, was Feng Yanghe's death simply due to a car accident, or could there be other reasons behind it? The term sacrifice used in his obituary sounds like he was killed by the enemy. Are there any other reasons behind his death? Shortly after Feng Yanghe's death on July 14th, the official website of the CCP's Ministry of Public Security suddenly announced that Wang Zhizhong, a member of the ministry's party committee and a vice minister, would also serve as the party secretary and the director of the Special Security Bureau. The Special Security Bureau of the CCP's Public Security Ministry is a very sensitive and a significant institution responsible for the protection of the so-called 4 vice and 2 supreme leaders, Vice Chairman of China, Vice Chairman of the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress, Vice Premier or State Councilor of the State Council, Vice Chairman of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, Chairman of the Supreme People's Court, and Procurator General of the Supreme People's Procuratorate, and foreign dignitaries visiting China. It also maintains the security of major events. Before July 14th, the head of the Special Security Bureau was concurrently held by Wang Xiaohong, the Minister of Public Security. Wang Zhizhong was promoted to Vice Minister of Public Security from being the chief of the Guangdong Provincial Public Security Department as recently as June 26 this year. In other words, less than 20 days after his promotion to Vice Minister of Public Security, he replaced Wang Xiaohong as the head of the Special Security Bureau shortly after Feng Yanghe's death. If Feng Yanghe truly sacrificed, as stated in his obituary during the execution of a significant task, and he received an overstandard funeral at Babaoshan, a place normally reserved for high-ranking CCP leaders, it seems that Feng Yanghe received the treatment only enjoyed by senior leaders. Then, does this imply that the Special Security Bureau, which should have protected him while he was executing a significant task, failed in its duty? Is Wang Xiaohong's removal from the head of the Special Security Bureau position related to this? Feng Yanghe's obituary mentioned that he sacrificed while executing a significant task at 2:35 a.m. Another report stated that he died in a car accident. Can we infer that his task was so significant that he was still working at 2:35 a.m. or had just completed his work and got into a car accident on his way home? What kind of task was he working on at 2:35 a.m.? Since he was the leading figure in the CCP's military simulation game for armed unification of Taiwan, and his AI system was primarily focused on assisting combat decisions and achieving integrated combat command, can we deduce that the CCP is working overtime to formulate specific plans for attacking Taiwan? There are online rumors claiming that Feng Yunhe was involved in an accident while riding a Didi ride-hailing car, something similar to Uber. He was supposedly sandwiched and killed by a bus at a cement truck, and some people even posted this photo claiming it was the scene of the accident on Changchun Street in Beijing. However, some have raised doubts questioning how such an important figure as Feng Yanghe didn't have a dedicated car. Why would he need to use a ride-hailing car like an ordinary person after work? Another point of skepticism is that if he really died at 2:35 a.m., there shouldn't have been public buses on the road at that time. So how could he be sandwiched by a bus? Furthermore, at 2:35 a.m., there should have been few vehicles on the road. So how did he end up in a fatal accident? So let's make a bolder speculation. Considering the recent rumors that the CCP's rocket force voluntarily provided information to the United States, indicating that they do not want to go to war with the US, could it be that Feng Yanghe's sudden death was the result of a precise beheading by someone within the CCP's military who also did not want war? If not, according to Chinese folklore, we can only attribute it to the will of heaven. Regardless of whether his death was a natural accident or a precise beheading, it deals a significant blow to the CCP's ambition to attack Taiwan. Perhaps this could be interpreted as a warning from above to Xi Jinping. Well, that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please double check if you are still subscribed to my channel, as YouTube keeps taking off my subscribers. And if you like my content, please spread my channel and videos, or go to my website at jenniferzengblog.com, jenniferzengblog.com. Sign up for a membership or make a donation to support my effort. Thank you. See you next time.